My name is Elias, and I'm a medium. Right now I'm standing in a glass-walled penthouse office on the 95th floor of a Manhattan skyscraper, looking out over Central Park. This office belongs to one of the most powerful men in finance, a billionaire who has everything money can buy, everything except peace. Before we continue, please comment where you are watching us from, like and subscribe to support us, and watch new readings every day. Marcus Ashford doesn't know I'm here yet. His executive assistant Patricia contacted me 6 weeks ago. She was crying when she called. She told me that her boss, the man who runs a multi-billion-dollar hedge fund, who moves markets with a phone call, has been quietly falling apart for 2 years. She said he works around the clock, sleeps in his office, and she's found him more than once staring at a photograph with tears streaming down his face. The photograph is of 2 boys, brothers. One is Marcus, maybe 8 years old, grinning at the camera. The other is younger, maybe 5, with a gap-toothed smile, and his arm around Marcus's shoulder. That younger boy was Daniel Ashford, Marcus's little brother. And 2 years ago, Daniel passed away suddenly, leaving Marcus with a burden of regret so heavy, it's destroying him from the inside. Daniel was a middle school teacher. He lived modestly, drove an old car, rented a small house. He loved his students, loved his work, loved his simple life. And Marcus saw all of that as failure. He saw his brother as someone who'd wasted his potential, who'd settled for mediocrity. Marcus avoided family gatherings where Daniel would be. He made excuses to skip Daniel's birthday dinners. He was, by his own admission, ashamed of his brother. Patricia told me that a week before Daniel passed, he called Marcus asking for help. His roof was leaking badly, and he needed a loan to fix it. Just a few $1,000s. Marcus's response: "Figure it out yourself. You're a grown man." Those were the last words Marcus ever spoke to his brother. 7 days later, Daniel collapsed while grading papers at his kitchen table. A brain aneurysm. Sudden, massive, fatal. He was gone before the paramedics arrived. Marcus was at a charity gala when he got the call. He was giving a speech about the importance of family values when his phone buzzed with the news that his brother had passed. Patricia told me that Marcus has spent the last 2 years trying to atone. He donated $10 million to Daniel's school, anonymously. He paid to have Daniel's roof fixed for his widow. He keeps Daniel's teaching award hidden in his desk drawer. But none of it brings him peace. Because what Marcus wants, what he desperately needs, is to hear from Daniel one more time. I hear the office door open behind me. I turn and see Marcus walking in. He's tall, impeccably dressed in a custom suit that probably costs more than most people make in a year. But his eyes tell a different story. They're haunted, exhausted, full of pain. "You must be the consultant Patricia scheduled," he says, his voice professional but tired. "I have to tell you, I'm not really in the mood for whatever wellness seminar this is. I only agreed because Patricia insisted." "Marcus," I say gently, "my name is Elias. I'm not a consultant. I'm a medium. I connect people with loved ones who have passed." He freezes. His jaw tightens. For a moment, I think he might ask me to leave. But then something shifts in his expression, hope breaking through the defensive walls he's built. "Patricia set this up," he says, "not quite a question. She did, because she's watched you suffer for 2 years, and because your brother has been trying to reach you all this time." Marcus's hand goes to his chest, a reflexive gesture. "My brother, Daniel." "Yes, Daniel is here right now. And Marcus, he has so much he wants to tell you, things you need to hear, things that will change everything you've been telling yourself for 2 years. Marcus sinks into his desk chair, and I see his hands are shaking. This billionaire, this titan of finance, suddenly looks like a lost little boy. Is Daniel really here? He is, and he's been waiting for this moment. Are you ready to hear what he has to say? Marcus nods, unable to speak. Then let's begin. We sit in the 2 leather chairs by the window, the city sprawling out beneath us. Marcus looks smaller somehow, despite his expensive suit and the empire he commands from this very room. "Okay," I begin. "Let me explain how this works. Your brother's spirit is going to communicate with me through feelings, images, words, and sometimes physical sensations. I'll tell you what he's showing me, and you confirm if it resonates. The validations will be specific, things only you and Daniel would know. That's how you'll know this is real. Does that make sense?" "Yes," Marcus says quietly. "Elias, I need to tell you something. I'm terrified right now. What if he's angry with me? What if he hates me for how I treated him? I can already feel Daniel's energy, Marcus, and I promise you, there's no anger here. What I'm feeling is love, deep brotherly unconditional love, and sadness, not for himself but for you. He's been watching you torture yourself for 2 years, and it breaks his heart. Marcus's eyes fill with tears. 2 years. It's been exactly 2 years, 1 month and 6 days. He knows. He's been with you every single one of those days. And today he finally gets to tell you what you need to hear. I close my eyes for a moment, tuning into Daniel's presence. It's gentle, patient, full of kindness. And then I hear it. A name spoken with such affection, such playfulness. "Who's Mark?" I ask, opening my eyes. Marcus's hand flies to his mouth. Oh my God, that's what Daniel called me. Not Marcus. Mark. He was the only person who ever called me that. I used to hate it when we were kids. I thought it sounded less sophisticated. But now, God, I'd give anything to hear him say it one more time. He's saying it right now. He's saying, "Tell Mark I'm here. Tell him I never left." Marcus breaks down, sobbing into his hands. He's really here. Daniel is really here. He is. And Marcus, he's showing me something very specific. Something you keep hidden in this office. In your desk. Something that belonged to him. What is it? Marcus opens his desk drawer with trembling hands and pulls out a small plaque. It's a teaching award. Daniel Ashford, Teacher of the Year, 2018. This, Marcus whispers. After he passed, I went to his school. I asked if I could have this. It was sitting on his desk in his classroom. His students had decorated the classroom with drawings and cards after he was gone. They loved him so much. And I realized I never once visited that classroom when he was alive. I never saw where he worked, what he did, why it mattered to him. Daniel knows you have that award. And Marcus, he wants you to know something. He's so honored that you kept it. But he's also telling me you keep it hidden. Why? Because I don't deserve to display it. I dismissed everything he did. I thought teaching was beneath us, beneath our family. Our father was a judge. Our grandfather was a senator. And Daniel chose to teach middle school kids. I was embarrassed by that. So I kept my distance. And now all I have is this award, and a lifetime of regret. Daniel is showing me more. He's showing me that you've been doing something else. Something he knows about. Something with money. Marcus looks surprised. How could he know about that? Because he's been watching you. What have you been doing? After Daniel passed, I made a donation to his school. $10 million. For new facilities, teacher salaries, scholarships. But I made it anonymous. I didn't want anyone to know it was me. I didn't want people to think I was trying to buy forgiveness. Daniel knows about the donation. He was there when you wrote the check. He was there when the school opened the new science wing. He was there when they named a scholarship program. And Marcus, he wants you to know that he's so proud of what you did. But he's also telling me something important. That donation wasn't about buying forgiveness. It was about honoring his legacy. And he's grateful. Marcus wipes his eyes. I've done other things too. I paid to fix his roof, the one he asked me to help with. I had a whole new roof put on for his widow, Kelly. She doesn't know it was me. The contractor just told her an anonymous donor covered it. He knows about that too. And Marcus, he's showing me something about that roof, about the phone call. He wants to talk about it, but first, there's something else he's showing me. Birthday cards. You have them somewhere, don't you? Marcus stands and walks to a cabinet. He opens it and pulls out a shoebox. Inside are birthday cards. Dozens of them. Every year, Marcus says, his voice breaking. Every single year Daniel sent me a birthday card. Even when I wouldn't return his calls. Even when I made excuses not to see him. He never missed a year, and I never once sent him one back. I never even responded. I just put them in this box and tried to forget about them. He opens one of the cards. In neat handwriting it says, "Happy birthday, Mark. Hope this year brings you everything you deserve. Love you, little bro. Danny." Little bro, Marcus laughs through tears. He was younger than me, but he called himself my little bro. Like he was taking care of me instead of the other way around. Because he was taking care of you. In his own way. Every card was his way of saying, I'm still here. I still love you. I'm not going anywhere. And Marcus, he never went anywhere. Even now, there's something else your brother is showing me. I continue. Something about his widow, Kelly. You've been helping her, haven't you? Beyond just the roof. Marcus nods slowly. Yes, I set up a trust fund for her and their 2 kids. They don't know it's from me. It's structured through a law firm as an anonymous benefactor. The kids' college is paid for. Kelly's mortgage is covered. I'm trying to give them the security that Daniel couldn't provide, because I refused to help him when he needed me. Daniel sees what you're doing, and he wants you to know something important. He's not upset that you're helping Kelly. He's grateful. But Marcus, He's also telling me that you're doing all of this from the shadows. You're hiding. Why? Because I don't deserve to be part of their lives. I wasn't there for Daniel when he was alive. I don't get to show up now that he's gone and play the generous brother-in-law. Kelly knows how I treated Daniel. She knows I looked down on him. I can't face her. Daniel is telling me that Kelly doesn't hate you. She's hurt, yes, but she doesn't hate you, and he wants you to stop hiding from his family, because his kids, your nephew and niece, they need to know their uncle. They need to know the good parts of you that Daniel always saw. The good parts, I don't know if there are any left. Daniel disagrees. He's showing me memories of you two as kids, you protecting him on the playground, you teaching him to ride a bike, you staying up all night to help him with a school project. Marcus, you weren't always distant. Something changed. What happened? Marcus is quiet for a long moment, staring out at the city. Success happened. Money happened. I built this empire, and somewhere along the way, I started measuring everyone by what they had, what they'd achieved. Daniel didn't fit into my world anymore. His old car, his small house, his teacher's salary, it embarrassed me. My colleagues, my clients, they all had successful families, and I had a brother who made $38,000 a year, teaching middle school. You stopped inviting him to things. I stopped everything. Family dinners where my colleagues might be, charity events, even our parents' anniversary party. I told Daniel it was adults only, so I wouldn't have to explain why my brother wasn't successful like me. And he just took it. He never got angry. He never stopped reaching out. He just kept sending those birthday cards and making those phone calls that I wouldn't return. I feel Daniel's energy shifting, becoming more insistent. Something heavier is coming now. Marcus, I'm starting to feel something, physical sensations, from Daniel, about how he passed. I need to talk about it. Is that okay? Marcus tenses. I've been dreading this, but yes, I need to know. I need to know what happened. I'm feeling pressure. In my head, like something's building, expanding. Is that what the doctors said? A brain aneurysm. Yes, they said it was a congenital weakness in a blood vessel, that he'd probably had it his whole life and never knew. They said when it ruptured, it was massive, that he wouldn't have felt much pain, that he was gone almost instantly. He's showing me that he was at home, at his kitchen table. He was grading papers. It was evening, around 8 p.m. Marcus nods, tears streaming. Yes, that's what Kelly told me. She'd gone to the grocery store. She was only gone for 45 minutes. When she came back, he was slumped over the table. Papers everywhere, a red pen still in his hand. He's showing me what he was doing in those final moments. He was grading a student's essay, a kid who was struggling. Daniel had written encouraging notes in the margins. Great improvement. I'm proud of you. He was smiling, Marcus. In his final conscious moments, he was smiling because a student was doing well. That's so Daniel, Marcus says, his voice breaking. Always thinking about his kids. That's what he called them, his kids, even though they weren't his biological children. And while he was doing that, something happened. He felt a sudden sharp pain in his head. Intense but brief. He tried to stand up, but his body wasn't responding. He felt confused, disoriented. And then he lost consciousness. Fast, Marcus. Within seconds. Kelly tried CPR. The paramedics tried. But he was already gone. Yes, and Daniel wants you to know something about those final seconds. When he felt that pain, when he knew something was very wrong, do you know what his last thought was? What? Marcus whispers. It was about you. He thought, I hope Mark is okay. I hope he knows I love him. Marcus collapses forward, sobbing uncontrollably. Even then, even in his last moments, he was thinking about me. And where was I? What was I doing? You were at a gala, giving a speech. I was giving a speech about family values, about the importance of supporting the people we love. I was literally talking about that while my brother was gone. The hypocrisy is unbearable. Daniel is showing me something about that week, about the phone call, the one where he asked for help with the roof. He wants me to tell you about it. Marcus looks up, fear and pain in his eyes. I don't know if I can hear this. You need to hear it, because what you've been telling yourself about that conversation isn't the truth. Marcus, your brother is showing me exactly what happened during that phone call, and you need to hear his perspective. Are you ready? Marcus nods, bracing himself. Yes, tell me. Daniel called you from his classroom during his lunch break. He was nervous about calling. He'd been putting it off for days because he knew you were busy, knew you didn't like being bothered with what you considered small problems. But the roof was leaking badly, and every time it rained, water was dripping into his living room. He'd already tried to patch it himself, but it needed professional repair. I remember the call. I was in the middle of a meeting. I stepped out to answer because his name came up, and I thought maybe something was wrong. Something was wrong. But Daniel didn't want to worry you, so he tried to make it sound casual. He said, "Hey Mark, I hate to ask, but I'm having some trouble with my roof. Could I maybe borrow a few $1,000s to get it fixed? I'll pay you back over time." Do you remember what you said? Marcus closes his eyes, the memory clearly painful. I said, "Daniel, I'm in the middle of something important. You're a grown man. You make your own money. Figure it out yourself. I can't keep bailing you out." And what did Daniel say? He said, "Okay, I understand. Sorry to bother you." And then he hung up. Those were the last words we ever spoke to each other. Daniel is telling me what he felt in that moment. He wasn't angry, Marcus. He was sad. Sad that you saw asking for help as bailing him out when he'd never asked you for anything before. Sad that you thought a few $1,000s was a burden when you'd just bought your third vacation home. But mostly, he was sad because he realized that the distance between you had become a canyon, and he didn't know how to bridge it anymore. Marcus is shaking. I didn't bail him out. He'd never asked me for money before. That was the first time, and I said no, because I wanted to teach him a lesson about self-reliance, about not being dependent. I thought I was helping him by making him handle it himself. But Daniel didn't need a lesson, Marcus. He needed his brother, and he's showing me something else about that roof. He did figure it out himself. Do you know how? No. I assumed he got a loan or something. He took on extra work. He started tutoring kids after school, 3 nights a week plus Saturdays. He tutored for 6 months, saved every penny, and finally had enough to pay for half the roof repair. He was planning to do the other half the following year, but he never got the chance. Marcus stands up, pacing to the window, his fists clenched. He was working extra because I said no. He was exhausting himself because I couldn't be bothered to help my own brother, and then his body just gave out. The aneurysm wasn't caused by stress or exhaustion, Marcus. It was congenital. It was going to happen regardless of whether he was working 1 job or 2. The doctors confirmed that, didn't they? Yes, but you don't believe it. You believe that somehow your refusal contributed to his passing. That the stress of working extra hours, of being financially stretched, of knowing his own brother wouldn't help him, you believe all of that killed him. Yes. Marcus shouts, then quieter, broken. Yes. That's exactly what I believe. Daniel is telling me very clearly right now, that's not what happened. The aneurysm was there his whole life. It could have happened when he was 20 or 40 or 60. It happened to happen at 38. And Marcus, he's showing me something else. Even if you had given him the money for the roof, even if you'd paid for it outright, he still would have taken that tutoring job. What? Why? Because he loved it. He's showing me the kids he tutored. Kids who were struggling. Kids whose families couldn't afford expensive tutors. He charged them almost nothing, just enough to cover the roof. He wasn't tutoring for the money, Marcus. He was tutoring because that's who he was. A teacher. Someone who helped people. That was his wealth. Marcus sinks back into his chair. I spent 2 years believing I was responsible for his passing. That my refusal to help him added stress that contributed to the aneurysm. That if I'd just been a decent brother, he might still be alive. And Daniel has spent 2 years trying to tell you that's not true. That he doesn't blame you. That he never blamed you. Marcus, your brother is showing me something about the funeral. You spoke at it, didn't you? Barely. I could hardly get through it. I stood up there in front of everyone. Kelly, the kids, Daniel's colleagues, his students, and I tried to talk about what a great person he was, but all I could think about was that I didn't deserve to be the one eulogizing him. That everyone in that room knew Daniel better than I did, because I'd chosen to stay away. Daniel heard your eulogy, and he's telling me it meant everything to him. Because despite all the distance, despite all the years of you pulling away, you still showed up to honor him. You still told everyone how much he mattered. And Marcus, he wants you to know that was the moment he knew you did love him. You just didn't know how to show it when he was alive. I do love him. I've always loved him. I was just so caught up in my own world, my own success, my own ego. I measured his worth by my standards instead of seeing the value in what he did. He touched hundreds of kids' lives. He made a difference every single day. And what do? I move money around. I make rich people richer. His life had meaning. Mine is empty. Daniel doesn't agree. He's telling me that your life doesn't have to be empty, that you have the resources to honor his legacy in ways he never could. And Marcus, you've already started doing that. Marcus, your brother is telling me something very clearly right now. I say, leaning forward. He's saying, Mark, it was not your fault. There was nothing you could have done to prevent this. I don't blame you for the phone call. I don't blame you for the distance. I don't blame you for any of it. Please, please stop punishing yourself. Marcus shakes his head. But I should have been there for him. I should have helped him. I should have been a better brother. You're right. You should have. And Daniel knows you know that now. But he's also telling me that holding on to guilt for the rest of your life doesn't honor him. It just means both of you are gone, him physically, and you emotionally. And that's not what he wants. What does he want? He wants you to live. Really live. Not just work yourself to exhaustion trying to atone. He wants you to connect with Kelly and the kids. He wants you to stop hiding behind anonymous donations and actually be present in people's lives. I don't know if Kelly wants that. I don't know if I deserve it. Daniel is showing me something specific you've been doing. Something you do every week. You visit his grave, don't you? Marcus looks surprised. Yes, every Sunday morning. Early, before anyone else is there. I bring coffee, the kind he liked from that place near his school. I sit there and I talk to him. I tell him about my week, about the donations I've made in his name, about how much I miss him. I know it sounds crazy. It's not crazy. And Daniel is there every single Sunday. He listens to every word. Marcus, he wants you to know that those Sunday mornings mean everything to him. But he's also telling me something else. You bring 2 coffees. One for you, one for him. Why? Because it's what we used to do when we were kids. Dad would take us to the diner on Sunday mornings, and we'd get hot chocolate. We called it brother time. I stopped doing that when we grew up, when I got too busy, too important. But now I bring coffee to his grave, because it's the only brother time we have left. Daniel remembers those Sunday mornings at the diner, and he's telling me that bringing coffee to his grave is beautiful, but he wants you to have brother time with living people, with his kids, with his family, with your family. Marcus wipes his eyes. I've been too afraid. Afraid they'll reject me. Afraid they'll see me for what I really am, someone who abandoned their husband and father when he was alive. Daniel is showing me his son. Your nephew. What's his name? Tyler. He's 12 now. Same age Daniel was when he started calling me Mark. And Daniel is telling me that Tyler asks about you. He asks Kelly, why doesn't Uncle Marcus ever visit? And Kelly doesn't know what to tell him. Because you're paying for everything but you're not present. Marcus breaks down. I didn't know Tyler asked about me. He does. And your niece, Emma, she's 8. Daniel is showing me that she found one of those old photos, the one of you and Daniel as kids. She asked Kelly, who's that with Daddy? And when Kelly said it was you, Emma said, he looks nice. Can we meet him? Oh God, Daniel wants you to meet them, properly. Not as the anonymous benefactor, but as their uncle, as their dad's brother, as family. And Marcus, he's showing me something specific. He wants you to take them to that diner, the one where you and Daniel used to go for brother time. He wants you to tell them stories about their dad, about what he was like as a kid, about the good times you had before everything got complicated. Marcus nods slowly. I can do that. I want to do that. Good. Because Daniel is also showing me something else. Something about your work. You've been changing things at your company, haven't you? Yes. After Daniel passed, I started looking at things differently. I established a scholarship program through my company. Full rides for kids who want to become teachers. I've funded it with $50 million so far. Daniel knows. And he's so proud of that. But he's telling me you've kept it quiet. You haven't put your name on it. I named it the Daniel Ashford Teaching Scholars Program. His name is on it, not mine. He loves that. But Marcus, he's also telling me that it's time for you to step out of the shadows. Time to talk publicly about him, about what he meant to you, about why education matters. Because your voice, your platform, your wealth, it can amplify his legacy in ways that anonymous donations can't. Suddenly, I see goosebumps rise on Marcus's arms. He looks down, startled. Did you just get goosebumps? I ask. Yes, all over. What does that mean? That's Daniel. That's his spirit moving right through you. That's him saying, yes, Mark. That's exactly right. Step into the light. Let people know who I was, and why I mattered. Marcus stares at his arms in wonder. Daniel, are you really here? He's nodding. He's smiling. And Marcus, he wants to tell you about something coming up. Something important. Daniel is showing me an event. I continue. Something happening soon at his old school. What is it? Marcus's eyes widen. The dedication ceremony. For the new science wing. It's in 3 weeks. They're naming it after Daniel. The Daniel Ashford Science Center. They don't know I'm the one who funded it. Daniel knows. And he's telling me something important. He wants you to be there. Not hidden in the back. Not watching from afar. He wants you on that stage, speaking about him, telling his story. I can't. Everyone will know I'm the one who donated. They'll think I'm trying to buy redemption. Or they'll see a brother honoring his brother. Marcus, Daniel is showing me that his former principal has been trying to reach you. She wants you to speak at the ceremony. She's left multiple messages with Patricia. Marcus nods slowly. She has. I've been avoiding her calls. I didn't think I had the right to be there. You have every right. You're his brother. And Daniel is telling me very clearly. He wants you there. He wants Tyler and Emma there. He wants you all together, as a family, celebrating his life and his legacy. That's what would make him happiest. What if I break down? What if I can't get through it? Then you break down. Daniel is telling me that authenticity matters more than perfection. Those students, those teachers, they loved your brother because he was real. They want to hear from someone who loved him too, even if that person is still learning how to express it. Marcus takes a deep breath. Okay, I'll do it. I'll speak at the ceremony. Good. And Marcus, Daniel is also showing me something else, something about his classroom. They've preserved it, haven't they? Yes. The school turned it into a memorial classroom. They kept his desk, his posters, his bookshelf. Teachers can use it, but they've kept it as Daniel had it. I've never been. I couldn't face it. He wants you to sit at his desk. Look at the posters he chose. See the books he read with his students, because that room tells his story better than any eulogy could. And he's telling me something specific. There's a poster on the wall, a quote. Do you know which one? No. I never went to his classroom when he was alive, remember? I have no idea what was on his walls. The quote is, "Success is not measured by what you accomplish, but by the lives you touch along the way." Daniel is telling me he put that poster up because of you, because he wanted to remind himself that even though you measured success differently, he was successful in the ways that mattered to him. Marcus puts his head in his hands. He was successful, more successful than I'll ever be. I've made billions, but what have I actually done? He changed lives. He inspired kids. He made the world better, one student at a time. And now you can do the same. You have the resources he never had. You can fund programs, build schools, support teachers on a massive scale. Daniel is showing me a vision. He sees you creating a foundation in his name. Not just scholarships, but ongoing support for teachers, for schools in underserved areas, for kids who need mentors. He's showing me that this could become your life's work. I want that. I want to build something that matters. Then do it. And Marcus, Daniel is also showing me something about your personal life. You've been alone for a long time, haven't you? Marcus looks uncomfortable. I was married once, 10 years ago. It didn't last. I worked too much, cared too much about money, not enough about the relationship. She left. Since then, I've just thrown myself into work. Daniel is telling me that you deserve love, that you deserve happiness, that punishing yourself with loneliness doesn't honor him. It just means you're both gone. He wants you to open your heart again, to let people in, to build a life, not just a bank account. I don't know if I know how to do that anymore. You learn. The same way you're learning to be Uncle Marcus instead of hiding behind anonymous donations. One step at a time. And Daniel is telling me something about those birthday cards, the ones you kept in the shoebox. He wants you to do something with them. What? He wants you to give them to Tyler and Emma, so they can see how much their father loved his brother, even when that brother wasn't there, so they can understand that love doesn't give up, even when it's not returned. Those cards are proof that Daniel never stopped trying, and he wants his kids to know that about him. Marcus pulls the shoebox closer. They're full of love. Every single one. Even the years when I completely ignored him, he still wrote about hoping I was happy, hoping I was healthy, hoping we'd see each other soon. He never gave up on me. Because that's what brothers do. At least, that's what Daniel did. And Marcus, he's telling me he has one more thing to show you. Something that will prove to you that he's really here. Something only the two of you would know. Are you ready? Yes. When you were 8 and Daniel was 5, something happened. Something you've never told anyone about. What was it? Marcus's eyes go wide with shock. How could you possibly know about that? Because Daniel is showing me. Tell me what happened. Marcus's voice drops to almost a whisper. We were at our grandparents' house. There was an old tree house in the backyard. I climbed up, but Daniel was too scared. He wanted to come up so badly, but he was frozen with fear. So I climbed down, and I carried him up on my back. We sat in that tree house for hours, and I promised him that I'd always help him when he was scared. that I'd always be there for him. Tears streamed down Marcus's face. I broke that promise. I spent his whole adult life not being there for him. But Daniel is telling me something. He's saying, Mark, you're carrying me now. Everything you're doing, the scholarships, the science center, taking care of my family, you're keeping that treehouse promise. You're helping me now in ways I could never have helped myself. You're lifting my legacy higher than I ever could have alone. That's what brothers do. Marcus is sobbing now, but there's something different in his tears. Not just grief, relief, release, hope. He forgives me. There's nothing to forgive. He's telling me he's preparing to give you his final message now. Are you ready? Marcus nods. I'm ready. Marcus, Daniel is giving me his final message now. He says, Mark, you were always my big brother, my hero. I was never ashamed of you. I was proud of everything you accomplished. I didn't need your money. I needed your presence. But I understand now why you pulled away. You were measuring yourself by impossible standards, and I didn't fit into that picture. But here's what I need you to know. I forgive you, I love you, and I'm so proud of the man you're becoming now. Go to that ceremony. Meet my kids. Tell them about the treehouse. Build that foundation. Live your life. And know that every Sunday when you bring that coffee, I'm sitting right there with you. Brother time never ended, Mark. It just changed form. I love you. Marcus stands, clutching Daniel's teaching award to his chest, tears streaming down his face. I love you too, Danny. I'm so sorry. And I promise I'll make you proud. He's already proud, I say, and he'll be with you every step of the way. As Marcus walks me to the elevator, I see something different in him. The weight he's carried for 2 years is beginning to lift. For the first time since Daniel passed, Marcus Ashford looks like he might actually be able to forgive himself. That's why I do this work. Please comment where you are watching us from, like and subscribe to support us, and watch new readings every day. God bless you.